You just follow your own dreams and you never judge a book by its cover.
You're just going to have to accept that James will probably never speak. And here we are. James not only speaks, but once he starts speaking, he hasn't shut up since.
That's the truth.
Mencap is a charity and we support people with learning disabilities.
I'm very honoured just to be an ambassador for Mencap.
And I also hear you make like a deadly meatball and garlic bread dish. Is that right? Or is that a rumour?
No, that's completely right.
And that's where we need our employers to take a chance on people. People with learning disabilities have so much to offer in the workplace.
I can see Brandon Gleeson in front of me and he said to Colin Farrell, you beat me to James Munn before I did. And I'm like, guys, it's not a wrestling match. I'm not telling you my age, but...
Would you rather be on the red carpet or wearing slippers in front of the TV? Chinese or Italian? What does inclusion mean in one word? Welcome to the Dig podcast. I am your host and I am honoured to be your host. My name is Caroline O'Neill and the Dig podcast is my passion, telling real stories from real people about work, about life, about challenges, about the good times and the bad times. And I'm honoured to have you listen each week. I also am so grateful for you listening each week, but I've got a wee thing to ask you. So thousands and thousands of people download the podcast, but they still haven't hit subscribe on YouTube or follow on Spotify or Apple. So if you love the podcast and you like listening to the guests every week and you get great advice from them, then that's just my wee ask of you before we start today. If you could take time to just hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, it means that I can keep reaching out to people and asking them to come on and they know more about the podcast because of the algorithm and you hitting that follow button, and it helps the podcast grow. So that's just what I'm asking, a little bit of help on that today. And now we're going to get straight to our guest.
So this is history for us today. I've said that a few times, but this is really history today because this is the first time that we've ever had an Oscar winner, not to mention a BAFTA winner, a recipient of an MBE on the Dig podcast. All three of those things. Welcome, Mr. James Martin, MBE, Oscar winner, BAFTA winner. And also welcome to Karen Gilgunn, who is representing Mencap today. So both of you are on the Dig podcast. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, yes.
Thanks for being here.
It's nice to be coming here.
I know, and I know you two do podcasts from time to time, so I know this is a very different one today, but it's an honour to have you both here. And you know, it's like, I don't even know where to start with both of you because you're both doing such great work. But I suppose that's just to give you a wee bit of insight about the Dig podcast. People that listen are people of all, I suppose, walks of life. People in their personal lives are listening, but also their working lives. And we're kind of mix a wee bit of both today. A bit of fun, a bit of crack, but also a bit of the serious stuff and the great work that you're doing as well, Karen, with Mencap. But just, I can't even go anywhere, James, without talking about your amazing career and, of course, your huge success recently. You've had loads of successes, but the most recent one that I'm sure you're still on a high, the Oscar and the BAFTA. Tell us, what happened? What's been going on?
Do you want from the start or do you want from the finish?
I want everything. I want everything.
No, it's been a great ride and it's just really nice. You have to be known, as you say, but you don't feel any different when you do win an Oscar. I mean, you treat these guys like you have to trust them. You're in that circle of trust, and that's what they want me to be. And it's just really nice to be humble because I know where I'm from, and it's just nice to put your feet on the ground.
And you do have your feet on the ground. I know that you're very rooted in your home and where you're from, but you still can't take away from the fact that you've been with the big guys, right? You've been rubbing shoulders with the stars.
Well,
and working with them.
It's nice to when you do know all those guys as your friends and your work colleagues, and not just working with them, but also if I've learned when you do know them, because of fact they watching one TV show.
Yes.
You've hit the mark. No, we know really.
You have hit the mark. You are the mark. We were so proud of you. Everybody here, like we were all cheering when you won that Oscar, and like that jacket that featured, was that the BAFTA or the Oscar? Do you wear this?
It was the, this is the Oscar
It
jacket.
is the Oscar jacket.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that is this the second outing you've wore it somewhere?
Well, I've worn it quite a lot actually before, but I thought I'd dress up nice
For
for
the Dig
the
podcast.
Take podcast.
Yeah, well, thank you. You look great. But what about those early days growing up and whenever you were kind of like, I know your dad, he has talked a lot about whenever you were born, is that right?
That's right.
And he's been in the media a lot, and it's very publicly. Like I was able to get his statements that that was said. Can I read it out just for people who don't know? So your daddy said, when James was born, a doctor said to me, "Look, Mr. Martin, you're just going to have to accept that James will probably never speak." And he then later said, and here we are, James not only speaks, but once he starts speaking, he hasn't shut up since.
That's the truth.
I know. But like that, like, what do you think about that the doctor said to your daddy back then?
Listen, you do get people who can't even say things in the right way to parents these days. But now you do have to face them and say, he can speak, because that's my... Then my dad was actually in a well-known name, and then I'm taking that over now.
Did you hear that?
It's my background to talk to the Alexa of the prayers. So that's my video experience coming out of me, you know, really. And that's really lovely just to have.
It is.
I know, really.
Like parents, I'm not sure what the language or how medics approach conversations like that now, but what would you say to parents that have maybe heard things like that about what their child's going to be able to do? You know, have you any words of advice for them or wisdom? Or...
Well, you can't really control what doctors might say. You can't. And I would say to them, take it on the chin.
Okay.
Because no matter what happens, they'll say if their kids have, children have disabilities or not, they can have a voice too. So you can talk to them or not talk to the parent. Or if they're very comfortable, bring your parent in, but I'll be the opposite of that.
Okay. Okay. So it is a hard journey to navigate, isn't it, for people? And like for your daddy back then, but I'm sure, knowing what I know about him, he wasn't taking that as the journey that you were going to be on.
Trust me, he was never going to let it go.
No.
You know, really, and it was going to be expected. It was. But you can't just control other people's opinions.
Yes.
So we just have to run with it.
Well, and look at everything that you've achieved in your career, like unbelievable, and as a person as well. But like, just to, and don't you worry, I haven't finished for you yet. But Karen, just to come over to you, so like you obviously have an unbelievable job within Mencap and helping people of all walks of life that come through Mencap. But like, would you hear that a lot from parents about like the language, or has the outlook changed, or what happened?
It hasn't changed, which is really, really disappointing. I mean, only this week we have families that are calling us, contacting us, begging us for support around. They've been told their children don't have a place in nursery school, primary one, and it's actually getting worse. So, you know, you think 20, 30 years on, I'm not trying not to give away your age, but 20, 30 years on that things would have progressed, but actually it's actually getting worse. Funding cuts and everything else, and we are literally seeing families in crisis and parents at breaking point. So it's really disappointing to see that is still happening, you know, all these years later. And you know, through advocacy and different campaigning, it hasn't progressed on. It's actually getting worse.
I can't believe that. Just to strip it back, what is Mencap for people who don't know?
So Mencap is a charity. It's a national charity, and we support people with learning disabilities, from birth right through to ripe old age, whether that be through early years education, through advocacy work, employment, supported living, right through that journey, and community, and helping people with learning disabilities just to be fully included in society.
Mm-hmm. And you're an ambassador for Mencap. Is that the right title for your role?
Yes, it is the right title, yes. And I'm very honoured just to be an ambassador for Mencap and have been for a long time. And I will give out advice out to families about the truth, about people with disabilities. And I'm really happy just to have that in. And it's just a nice title to have, and I'm just glad to be one.
I know, and you do great work. I recently seen you at the Waterloo Ball, and you were shining a light on, you know, the amazing things that people with learning disabilities achieve and celebrating it. And you were up there, and it was great. That's when I first was like, wow, look, I obviously seen all your success, but to see you in normal community, like not in the stars or with the Hollywood, but just
Yes.
loving life, it was just a great feeling. And then I started to hear about all the great work that Mencap is doing, and we're going to talk about that as well, Karen. But what about James, like acting? So obviously this is where what you're doing now. Did you always love acting? I was reading up about Beaver's Babosh drama group. Is that, am I saying that right?
Yeah. So it's a group people with various severe disabilities. Just that the families have downtime and stuff. And yes, I got to know about that trauma through a friend of mine who has Down syndrome as well. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't go this far. I tell you now.
Who's he?
But
Call him.
Was
Okay.
Stewart, and I always say his name a lot with my interviews because he's he's a friend to me and I've known him a long time. But it's just nice to be involved in theatre acting.
Yeah.
I've done theatre acting for must be 20 years, I would say. And he always like, well, I've been in it for 21 years. I'm like, it's not a competition, you know, really. But it's just nice just to be involved.
Yeah, and like whenever you were starting to get into acting, and like, was it hard? Did we always accept it into that kind of profession, or was there any hard times to do that?
I think in the way, it's just really nice to be included because they want you to be a down-the-wall fella. You've relaxed into all chains. And I think that's really nice too, because you do have to expect that trust. So, not just my theatre acting coming out of me, but also I'm a full-time actor now, so it's really lovely.
So you've learned a lot through all of that then, like all the different way, like theatre and your film, and you know what I mean? You've progressed.
Again, it's all down to what the different directors might give you.
I know.
And I think that's really lovely, you know,
But you're
really.
the one has to put it into action though. They can tell you all day long, but you need to have
Listen,
skill.
it's nice to have a skill, interaction, and you can have it down to a T.
And you do. You know that anyway. But and I also hear you make like a deadly meatball and garlic bread dish. Is that right? Or is that a rumour?
No, that's completely right.
Okay.
It's definitely not a rumour. No. I used to work in Scalini's. It's a big Italian restaurant, and we know the family very well. And it's yes, making garlic bread, but I can make garlic bread supreme,
What, like
meatballs.
that garlic bread supreme? Why is that different than garlic bread? What else have you got in there?
It's just cheese.
Oh, you're adding cheese
It's
on
just
top.
cheese on top.
Don't play it down. Garlic bread and cheese is the ball.
Well, you see, they have to call it that because you do add the cheese in, so it means it's nice. But I like stuff like, you know, pastas and sauces and meatballs of very Northern and Taunton of Coin. So you can do it then as a tea, you know, really.
You're making me hungry.
Me too, I'm hungry just to talk about it, you know,
We
really.
need to go for a feed after this, right? And you make a deadly coffee because you learned the ranks in Starbucks. So
Yes.
yeah.
That's right. I give out the orders out to the customers, and it's really funny when I did book law, if I call out a name, they'll laugh. I'm like, well, what's so funny about your name? You know, I'm only just calling it out, you know, really, but it's nice, and I do make teas and coffees, but as a barista, it means that you can deal with the customers, but you do get the same customers about, and indirect with a cafe and at the back in the kitchen.
And
So,
that's where
so
you
it's nice.
learn your real skills, right? Dealing with people.
Well, and also we know the people.
Yes, yeah.
That's the thing. So, also we get to know them. Don't be afraid. You just go up, bro, and just talk to them as a normal human being, like me.
Is right, I know, and the fact you can cook just makes it even better. But you obviously loved working through all those places like Scalini's and met so many great people. And
Well, again, I just want to come back to Starbucks a wee bit. They were very good to me because when I left over to go to America to pick up the Oscar, like a day of James Martin, so they had a big board of me with the saying I want to be a rock star, and the two Oscars and the cupboard, and had coffee and tray beats. And because it was my birthday, with the jacket, of course, they did a birthday cake thing, and they sang happy birthday to me, and that was my 31st.
you're 30, how many years ago was that?
I was
Tell us.
say over two, was it over 2 years, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're very well thought of in Starbucks, obviously, if they did all that for you.
Well, I mean, they are very good company to me, and I know. See, I was like the only person would be allowed knowing how to walk, so it was nice, really, in that sense. And the likes of Scalini's, it's a different ball game to Starbucks, because it's more hospitality and catering in Scalini's.
Yeah.
So you can not just. I was start in the afternoon, so I don't really react with the customers. But the customers would phone up and I would react on that.
I just want to take a minute in the podcast to tell you all about our brilliant sponsor, McNichol Caravans. Buying a holiday caravan doesn't have to be overwhelming. McNichols make it easy. At McNichol Caravans, they know this isn't just a purchase, it's a big step towards your dream lifestyle. That's why their team supports you from the first call to the moment you step inside your holiday home. So whether you're looking for something brand new or pre-loved, they'll help you find the perfect fit. They'll even arrange delivery to your chosen park, whether it's one of their 7 stunning locations or another site that you love. And it doesn't stop there. Their family-run team offers ongoing advice, servicing and care because they want you to enjoy every moment stress-free. And that's why they're the proud winners of the Customer Service 2025 award. Let's make your dream simple. Visit mcnicholcaravans.com and let them guide you home. And now back to our guest.
So that's a lot of work you've been doing there, like Scalini's, Starbucks. What about people who are listening, maybe families that have somebody with a learning disability or somebody with a learning disability that's listening, James, and feels like they're never going to be able to get out into the world of work or achieve their dreams like you have? What would you say to them?
Well, I would take my advice. I would just talk to your parents because I talked to mine and about what jobs was out there for me. So I would just say to them, go to any support charities. It will help you, but also in the right way. Now, I had a choice of leaving school when I was very young, but I stayed on to the post 16. So, because I was very young at the time, and I was only about like 14, 15. But take my advice, stay in school, do your homework in school, and you can hit the big bad world of work.
Which you did. So that's great advice for people.
Mhm.
And also that bit you said about talking to your parents or your caregiver, whoever's looking after you, and then also reaching out to people maybe like Mencap.
Well, not just Mencap,
Yes.
but
Charities like
everyone,
that.
charities
Yes.
involved too might help you.
Yeah.
You know, like most people wouldn't get a chance of going into charities like Mencap or Ultraful because they all go to like a day centre
All right.
just to give parents some time,
Yes. Respite.
yeah, and stuff. But take my advice, don't go down that route, but go down the route that you really want to go.
I love that. That's great advice. Karen, what about Mencap and the work? Oh, like, is there opportunities for people to come to you to get into some type of work if they don't know how to start that journey?
Yeah. I mean, we offer various different ways into employment, and I think it's what James had touched on. It's about meeting people where they're at. You know, people with learning disabilities have so much to offer our society, but they will all have very different individual journeys, and it's about meeting people at the point of where they need support. You know, we have lots of young people who would be able to move into employment, and that's where we need our employers to take a chance on people. You know, we have some incredible businesses in Northern Ireland, and we need them. And sometimes it's fear, and that's okay. And we've worked with some businesses over the last couple of years around helping them to create that environment where they can support the person, but also that it's not scary for them, because it can be at times. But then we also need to recognize that there are, you know, young people and people coming into adulthood that aren't necessarily ready just for that world of work straight away, and it's about providing that wraparound support for them, where their journey might be a little bit longer, but you know, they deserve to have an opportunity just like everybody else.
I know, unbelievable that you help people in that way. So what would you say maybe the employers that are listening to reach out to you guys for?
To us, you know, honestly, people with learning disabilities have so much to offer in the workplace. I mean, I work with a number of people that have learning disabilities every single day. I have colleagues in my team, and you know, they bring so much to the workplace, and they'll see things that you'll not see. You know, and they'll approach things in a different way, and it's I mean, like all of us, we're all so different.
Yeah.
And just because someone has a label of a learning disability, we all approach things differently. So it's about just recognizing the difference in people and what they can bring to the table.
I know, and when you hear about the great work that James is doing, Scalini's and like the cheesy garlic bread there, like, and can't wait to get home to try to recreate something. And even in Starbucks, and how well you were thought of and the great work that you've done there, it really shines a light on the fact that people shouldn't dampen their dreams just because they might have been diagnosed with a learning disability or.
Listen, I always say this to a lot of people too. You just follow your own dreams, and you never judge a book by its cover. So no matter what the workplace is or your work experience is, you just go in, have fun, react with the customers, and be very nice to them. You know, really.
Good thing.
Well, that's my opinion.
And
You know,
it's
really,
valid.
because it's
Well, you're a
valid.
lived experience of that. Like, you've lived that and you've done that and had great experiences from it. So you're the right man to talk to. So I take
Yeah.
your word on that for sure. But so like when we're talking about work and then you progressed on, and then how did it actually happen where you got to be, you know, in Hollywood and all of that? Like, can you tell us anything about that journey? Like, how did that all happen?
Well, I followed my own dreams because I really wanted to be an actor. Right, so you know, I in school, and you just couldn't do a course on it. So like I had to do things like math and art and PE and ET, and because with maths, you know, you get 12 days of Christmas, so it's good.
Yes.
And moving up to America and Hollywood, you just go as a fan. Or maybe a friend to Hollywood, so you know what your place is and your theatre is. So as long as we know the people in the right way, I mean, I followed my dream with me being an actor, and it's taken me a godsend. You know, really, it's amazing.
It is amazing.
So,
And what about, like, everybody's always intrigued to know about the famous people. Will you tell us a few like if I ask a few wee questions?
yeah.
Right. Is there anybody in particular that stands out to you for any reason? Maybe their kindness or their being funny, or is there anybody that particularly you think they're a good person or they stand out to you in the world of stars?
Well, now, of saying that, it was nice to meet Brandon Gleeson and Colin Farrell. I don't know if you watched the Banshees of New Zealand, and he actually came over to me himself. He has a son who has the exact same name as me. I was like, oh, wow, your son has the exact same name as me. You know, really. And he has a special condition too.
Yes.
So I was giving, he says to me, any advice? I'm like, I'm giving advice out to, you know, an actor, a colleague of mine. I was gobsmacked. And
So Colin Farrell said this?
yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, nice fella. We had a nice conversation for 20 minutes. I can see Brandon Gleeson in front of me, and he said to Colin Farrell, you beat me to James Munn before I did. And I'm like, guys, it's not a wrestling match, really. But anyway, but it's just nice to know that I'm yes, no one in no standard of acting,
I know.
but it's just nice to know.
And that he
No,
talked to
really.
you on that human level about advice because his son obviously has a diagnosis and they're battling through that. So it was lovely for him to kind of connect with you on that level, right?
Yeah.
He seems like a good guy as well. I've seen a few things.
Oh, he's very nice and he's very busy, but like we actors can be very busy, so it's just nice.
Yeah, spend time with people.
Spend time with them too, really.
And as well as acting and all of that, you're a keen runner, I hear. You like to go running.
Yes, well, I been attending Queen's Park one a lot before that I did come famous, and it was really nice to be active runners and Tonbridge running. Come next year actually, it's my 10th year
Is it?
of the Belfast City Marathon. So
Real?
I'm not telling you my age,
Yeah.
but it's a big deal. So it's just nice for a good cause.
And you're obviously physically fit, fitter than me anyway. I wouldn't even attempt a marathon. What are you doing?
It really depends on any food that I could eat, but no, well, it's just nice.
It keeps you fit,
It
does it?
keeps you fit.
Yeah.
And keeps your legs working.
Yeah, and looking after your physical health's important as well. Like I know that's important to you, obviously, if you're doing your running too, and looking after yourself.
It's not just the running side of it, it's just what other people would love to do.
Yes.
And I said to my mum, that's how that really began. And I said to my mum, Suzanne, Mum, I would love to do the marathon. So I got a trainer, Barry Reid, and he trained me up really well in Cityside.
Yes.
And next minute,
Away you went.
nearly 10 years later, it's just been amazing.
You haven't stopped since.
I haven't stopped since.
That's unreal. But and if you hadn't said that dream out loud, then that might not have happened. So another lesson to people who are listening, to say it out loud if you want to run the marathon and do all the great things.
Say it out loud and do yours proud.
I love it. Couldn't have said it better myself. And what about Mencap then, Karen? Through if people, is there any kind of opportunities there for getting involved in activities like?
Yeah, we actually, so James and a group of people that we work with and support became the first group of people with a learning disability to first relay team in Belfast City Marathon ever. And it was huge last year because it was obviously all around inclusion. And so we actually have a program called the Healthier Me program, and it's about tackling health inequalities for people with learning disability, because in a recent survey, people with learning disabilities and their families told us that their biggest barrier to participation in health and fitness and sport is inclusion and being able to go in and access a leisure centre or be part of a group. So we've been running a big campaign just over a year now.
Yeah.
James, as our ambassador, has taken part and has played a huge role in that. And this year we had the largest group of people with a learning disability ever to take part in a marathon. So we had over 35 people from all over Northern Ireland taking part in the marathon, which is amazing because people with learning disability tell us they want to be fit, they want to be healthy, they know what they need to do, but society doesn't make it easy for them to do so. So we're working really hard to try to kind of bust some of those that stigma and change that kind of stereotype for them.
And what can people be doing, Karen, to bust that? Like, what can we do on the ground to try to make this more?
Again, in any of our settings, we all long to be part of something. We all have our tribe. All of us want to be part in something in society, and people with learning disability are absolutely no different.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go to the gym, and they will tell you they don't want the special class on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m, which groups all of, with disabilities, older people, young mother, parents, whatever it is. They want to be in the class alongside you. We've a girl who participated with us in the marathon, and she was told, oh, all you'll ever do really is chair yoga, and she's now doing strength training in her local gym in Oma, which is amazing, and society told her you can only do this, but actually she's completely busting myths every single day, and she's like breaking records in terms of her strength training. So it's about seeing the person for who they are. Don't assume that because someone has a learning disability that you know what is best for them. But again, it's around awareness. A lot of times in society, people just aren't aware. And we just take the time to see the person and to work with the person directly, meet them where they need you to meet them, and not, an assumption of who they should be.
Such good advice. I think there's so much more work being done now. I think it's just been a generational thing, hasn't it? Like years ago, probably people didn't talk about it as much. People didn't give people chances, and you give people a chance to shine. So it's brilliant. It's easier. I didn't know that about the marathon and that there was 35 people and all. So even me knowing that now as well just changes your perception as well, and your, what you said, meet people where they are, not where you think they should be. Is that the right way to
Yeah,
put
and
it?
up until recently, obviously a lot of people with learning disabilities would have been institutionalized and locked away from their families and their communities. And Mencap has worked really hard over the last number of years to make people with a learning disability part of our community. We have had a campaign, Ordinary Homes and Ordinary Streets. People with a learning disability should be living among us in our communities, accessing local leisure centres, accessing local inclusion groups, whatever that may be. So you have seen a societal shift and change away from that institution model, and it should never ever go back to anything like that, and it won't, and it can't go back to that. But it's about giving them a voice in society. Mencap aren't here to talk on behalf of people with learning disabilities. We are here to help them amplify their voice. We are just an engine that allows them to amplify their voice, and that's the way it should be. We shouldn't be talking on their behalf. We should be giving them their space and their place in society.
These are unbelievable. Like, I'm only starting to learn now, I'll admit, about the work that you do from we decided to do the podcast, and I've been reading up on before our interview today. But I think everybody needs to educate themselves, because it's important everyone feels like they have that place. So I think it's amazing. And what would you say, James? So you're Mencap ambassador, James, like, what's one change that you'd hope to see in like support services for other people like you?
Well, again, if it wasn't for any charities like Mencap or something, we'd be snookered without them. Because what's it going to be like in the next 25 years from now?
Yeah.
So say if it was this whole COVID thing started again, or Brexit, we can be snookered without them.
Yeah. So I suppose if there's more maybe awareness, more funding, more support, then we can like make those services stretch more and reach more people.
Well, I think it's to do with, if the families would agree that all children to attend the charities full time,
Okay.
because say if we didn't have a club or people can speak, well, that's how Mencap is involved.
Yes.
So it's just really nice just to hear that.
It is, and the great work that when you come
Yeah.
together, it even makes it stronger, doesn't it? Whenever the likes of you, James, works alongside Karen and you do things, it's more powerful, isn't it? Because it's bringing the charity side along with someone who's living the life of a person that's living their dreams but has a learning disability.
Listen, you see, when you go to school and somebody might say to you, would you take your disability away from you? One question, you can't, because it's a part of your life. So no matter what that question is, if we take your disability away from you, we're going to be different to a lot of people. So you can't just take that away from each other. So you do need to support that, and that's why Mencap comes in.
And that's why you're ambassador, because you can verbalize what that means, and that's the power.
You see, I got to know Mencap through a friend of mine really well, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be. I'm an ambassador for them.
Yes.
The way that I'm going right now, so it's just really nice.
Who's your friend? Do you want to say her name?
She'll kill me if I
Will she?
do, but I think it's just to be funny.
Yeah.
Marion Nicholas.
Okay.
Yeah, her daughter attended Mencap
Right.
as well, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't know what Mencap was.
again, like the importance of the power of word and spreading the word and all of that. So I love that bit there you said about if you took your disability away, you wouldn't be you. So it's important, and we need to celebrate everyone and where they're at. And yeah, so what does the future look like, James? What are you working on? Are you allowed to tell us? What are you working on? Or everything's top secret?
Well, you're right, because it is
Oh,
very
right.
sacred. But again, I don't really know yet. But there's, I will know something.
Okay.
But
Would you let us
I
know
don't
when you
know.
know?
I will let other people know in time.
Okay. But would we be on that list of other people?
Yes.
Okay, good. Can we talk about this? Because I don't want to
Yeah.
move on. Tell me what this means
Well,
for people who...
well,
just go on.
I become an actor, and I was the first person with a disability can services to acting in Northern Ireland. So what that means is that it's part of my life now. So my title is Dr. James Martin MBE, which Karen loves that name so much. So it means that you be entitled to go back again, to like likes of doing defence.
Okay. So for people who are listening to this on audio and not watching it, they won't know that I'm holding your... what is the right name for this?
It's a MBE is the right name.
Yes, it's
So it's a member of the British Empire.
yeah.
You know, really.
And a recognition of your great services to...
Northern Ireland.
Amazing. And I know you...
I'm not the only one
I know.
from here who got an MBE, because I can name thousands of people. You
But
know, really.
here,
but,
I don't know too many. So I know there is, but I mean, I haven't met that many people that have an MBE, but it means a lot because it's recognition for your great work. So you deserve to be proud of it.
I am so proud of it. I'm very protective of it. It's just nice just to get it.
I know.
You know, it's a godsend to me. You know, really.
So I didn't call you doctor at the start now. So I just said James Martin. So you forgive me for that.
No, you're
Okay.
fine. You're
That's all
fine.
right. But I was that many things after it. I forgot about the Dr. MBE, Oscar, BAFTA.
I know, it's a title, I know.
I know.
It was actually my mum's son who gave me my doctorate for the Oscar University. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't get my doctorate. So
Who is it?
my mum.
Oh, your mummy.
My mum's son, yeah.
Yeah.
So she worked for the Oscar University herself. And with the Oscars kicking off, and next minute I got my doctorate. You know, really. Now I'm not a field doctor, but I'm only a doctor in the adults. You know, in all, when you go away somewhere in an aeroplane, it's like I need a doctor. I'm like,
you're not that type of
cool,
doctor.
I'm not that. You know,
Well, that's good to know. We'll not be calling on you for any kind of medical help, but
I
regardless,
wouldn't.
you're still a doctor, so don't shy away from that. But what about some quick fire questions? Would you two be ready for those? You ready? Okay, you first. You're in the hot seat first, James here. Favorite actor of all time?
Oh, I have to be careful what I have to say.
Yeah,
You know.
be careful, be careful. You never know who's watching.
I would say The Rock.
The Rock?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you to say that. Right. Very good. Did he have the same jacket as you? Did I hear that?
Different jacket. But there's a story behind that.
There is a story.
I'll imagine that a lot later.
Okay, we'll talk about that
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
The Rock, okay. Very different. Would you rather be on the red carpet or wearing slippers in front of the TV?
Definitely the carpet.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. Chinese or Italian?
It depends how hungry I am.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I would say Italian.
Okay.
Because I do like my Italian food.
Yes, and your background in Scalini's has probably amplified that, yes?
Yeah.
Would you rather have a rainy day in Belfast or a sunny beach holiday? Oh, what kind of question is that? Why am I even asking you that?
It's a good question.
Is it?
I'm glad about that. I would say the beach with the sun.
The beach with the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely the right answer. I've got one more question for you, but I'm going to come back to you for the last question.
Okay.
Karen, are you ready? So what does inclusion mean in one word?
Belonging.
Love it. A moment with Mencap that you'll never forget.
Crossing the finish line with James and the guys and girls last year at the marathon, holding hands, and James sprinting off in front of us when he's seen the camera.
What, to get in front of the camera or to get... What?
Thank you so much for that.
That was amazing. It was amazing. All our hard work paid off. And drives. Remember when we were training in better gyms, and we went out onto the road, and we were all driving or running with our jerseys, and it said "Run with me" on the back, and people were driving up the road beeping their horns, and some of the people started to cry because they were so proud of themselves, and it was amazing. It was just amazing.
All right, maybe we'll get that picture, will we, of you crossing the finish line? You could give us that and we can show that. You'll not be in it because you'll have ran away looking at the camera. One thing people misunderstand about learning disability.
The people don't know what they want, and that they don't have a voice. It's a real common misconception, that happens all the time. The people speak for them instead of asking them, what do you really want?
Okay. Yeah, very important. And I realised that today more whenever you guys have been telling me your stories. Email or face-to-face?
Oh, definitely face-to-face. Email is boring. Definitely face-to-face.
There's no tone of voice in an email, so you never really know.
And you can't lock people in either.
No.
Or email,
No.
It's hard to say no whenever you have a big smile on your face.
That's true. That is very true. As you know with the podcast, I like this. Any chance? If you could shout one message from the rooftops about learning disability, what would it be?
To give people choice and control and include them. Give them their voice and include them in society. You're missing out. We're missing out so much with all the amazing things that they can bring to the table.
Absolutely. James, back to you. One last one. What's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Piece of advice. I would say the funny side of it.
See the funny side of things? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, that's good.
Because, like, when you get people to say, oh, it's still you again, isn't it? I'm like, well, I'm not Donald Duck, really, but, it's nice, really.
Yeah. So see the funny, when things
You
are
can
tough.
see the
or-
funny side. I'm not if it's tough or easy going, really.
Yeah. See the funny side of things. That's a good way to live your life, isn't it? 'Cause
It is, yeah.
decreases the stress levels, right? And what about where's the best place now? Like, I don't want you to go. I'm like, right, let's go for a feed with garlic bread and cheese and meatballs. We're not going home, but we're not going to do that. I know you guys have to go, but where can we now follow the journey of what's happening? Is it through the Mencap channels? Have you both got separate things we can follow?
Mencap, Instagram and
Okay.
Facebook, you'll find us. I mean, if you go on now, you'll just find constant content, some amazing stories. We obviously are an advocacy organisation as well, so some of our content can be quite very, hard hitting that families and people with learning disabilities are facing. However, there's always good news stories to tell, and there's always people here breaking down barriers and busting myths every single day. We've just launched our Do You See Me campaign.
No.
And it's about, do you see me, include me, hear me and see me, and give me my voice. So yeah, follow us on our Instagram page and you'll never look back.
I love that. Do you see me? That's so powerful, even without knowing the in-depth of the campaign. The words alone, unbelievable. And what about you, James? Now, where can we follow the crack? And have you got socials that we can follow?
Yes, I'm on social media.
Yes.
Um,
Instagram, Facebook,
yes.
on them all.
Well, I'm on some of them.
Okay.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
Okay.
but I don't do things like Twitter.
No,
You have to
no.
fake people
know.
and be bothered with that.
I'm not into that.
You know,
It's
like-
X now. It's called X now. It's not even called Twitter anymore.
Well, I just called the name.
I know. I can't get my head around it either, but that's good. We're going to link everything in the show notes, Mencap, where people can find out more. Employers, if you're listening, and people in society that want to make a difference, get involved. We'll link all your details. And James will link your social handles as well. Not that you need any more fans or followers, but we'll
Definitely not, no.
We'll send people your way. I want to thank you both for being on the Dig podcast. This is what it's all about, sharing stories. People saying yes. I know, Karen, that when I reached out to you, it's not always easy for people to say yes when they don't know you. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And it's been lovely getting to know you just a wee bit more than I feel
Yes.
that I did from online. Because it's not like face to face. you don't really know somebody till you meet them, sure you know.
I actually like it face to
That's
face.
better.
You know, it's much better than Zoom.
I know. Oh, Zoom. No, that's Zoom's for COVID days, right? We're moving forward.
That's
Everything's
right.
face to face. So thank you for being on the Dig podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Thank you.
you.